Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good whatever time of day it is and whatever part of the world you're at. Welcome back. And today we're going to go ahead and pick up with part 2 of our review of parallel lines and transversals. Okay? So if you've already watched part 1, this strategy that I'm about to continue using in part 2 is no different, where once again we want to start off by using our circles here. Okay? And then I want to do my shading. I'm going to do my shading like this. All right. Top left-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner. Okay. Now that I know what things have been shaded, they want us to solve for x. Okay. So the arrow, this little arrow right here where it says 11x minus 5 is pointing to the bottom left-hand corner of the first circle. And in the bottom right-hand corner of the first circle is 11x minus 5. And then if I look in the second circle, the bottom right-hand corner of that circle says 7x minus 27, okay? So one thing that you might want to do is start off, we know that both of these angles are congruent because both of them are shaded the same thing. So let's write some things down about these two angles. They're congruent. And they have a particular relationship, or even more specific relationship. They are corresponding angles. Okay, 11x minus 5 and 7x minus 27 are in the same area of their respective circles. They're in the bottom right-hand corner. So corresponding angles, and we already know that they're congruent. So if they're congruent, that means we set them equal to each other. 11x minus 5 equals 7x minus 27. And then we go ahead and solve for x. Subtract 7x from both sides. So that's going to leave us with 4x minus 5 equals negative 27. Well, is that supposed to be a plus 27? Let me erase that circle. Oh, that is a plus sign. And let me make sure. Okay, so the other one was a minus, and the first one was a plus. Yep, so sometimes we got to make sure we get our symbols correct. So that really should be a plus sign here. And instead of negative 27, this should say positive 27. All right, next, I'm going to go ahead and add 5 to both sides. When I add 5 to 27, that's going to make it 4x equals 32. And then obviously our last step is to divide both sides by 4, which makes x equal to 8. So now that I've solved for x. Now, let's say they asked us to figure out the angle measure of either one of the angles. Well, since they're congruent, we know that if we find one of the angle measures, the other one's going to be the exact same. So we can simply just plug 8 into one of the angles. So I'm going to use the first one. 11 times 8 minus 5. 11 times 8, right, is 88. And then 88 minus 5 is 83. So if we wanted to know the angle measure of each one of those angles, each one of them would be 83 degrees. Okay? All right. Let's take a look at number 13. Once again, we want to start off by using our circles. Okay? In this one, I'm going to have to use like some long circles here, but it's okay. All right? Or oval-looking circles. Now, I want to do the shading, so I'm going to shade the top left-hand corner and the bottom right-hand corner. Top left-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner. Now that I've done that, I see that the two angles that they're asking me about that they've given us are two different colors. So that lets me know right away that these angles are supplementary. Remember, when we use this method here with the circles and the shading, if they're two different colors, that automatically means that they're supplementary angles. Okay? And let me put my angle sign and go back over to number 12 and put my angle sign here. All right, so supplementary angles. Now, more specifically, if you remember, the relationship, the name of these two angles that we could call these things are consecutive interior angles. Okay, consecutive interior angles. Now, once again, we already know that they're supplementary. So supplementary means that these two angles add to equal 180. So when we're sitting here doing our work, we're going to do add to equal, We're going to add them. So that's going to be 9x plus 3 plus 4x minus 5 equals 180. Okay. 9x plus 4x is 13x. Positive 3 plus negative 5 is negative 2. Okay. Then we add 2 to both sides. That's going to give us 13x is equal to 182. And then we divide both sides by 13. So when we divide both sides by 13, we got to do 182 into 13. That goes into it once. That's going to be 52. That's going to be 4. So x is equal to 14. Okay. Now, once again, just like with number 12, if they asked us to find the measure of one of the angles, let's say, for example, they asked us to find the measure of 4x minus 5. So 4 times 14 minus 5. Okay. 4 times 14. Let's double check it. I think it's 56, but I'm not sure. That's 16, carry the 1. Yep, 56. So 14 times 4 is 56. 56 minus 5 is 51. So this angle right here is 51 degrees. If I wanted to find the other angle, the 9x plus 3, I could plug in 14 for x, or I could just take this angle here and subtract it from 180. And that'll tell me how much 9x plus 3, what that measure of that angle is, which is 9. That became that. So 129 degrees. So this other angle right here is 129 degrees. Okay? So just want to make sure that even though they're asking us to find x, you know how to find the other angle measures as well in case they ask for that. Okay? So let's go ahead and finish up with number 14. So once again, we're going to start off by using our circles. Oops, let's get a better circle than that. All right. And sometimes instead of circles, you might need them to be like ovals. It's okay. But I'm still going to do my shading. Top right-hand corner. Top left-hand corner. Bottom right-hand corner. Top left-hand corner. Bottom right-hand corner. Okay. Now, in this one, they want us to solve for x and for y, right? So let me redo this circle because I want to make sure we can see the entire expression. All right. Now, first, we got to look, which variable do we see twice, which in this case would be the x. So we have to start off by solving for x, and then we're going to use x to solve for y. All right. Now, if we notice both of the x's, right, for the x variable, those angles are congruent, and more specifically, they are alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles. Okay? So that means that once again, we already know that they're congruent. So we got to set these two things equal to each other to solve for x. So we're going to do 13x minus 27 equals 10x plus 6. So subtract 10x from both sides. That's going to be 3x minus 27 equals 6. Add 27 to both sides, and that's going to be 3x is equal to 33. And when we divide both sides by 3, x is equal to 11. So now that we solve for x, we have to figure out what y is equal to. All right. Now, for this one, we have to plug x back in order to figure out what y is equal to. So I'm going to plug x into 10x plus 6. So 10 times 11 plus 6. 10 times 11 is 110 110 plus 6 is 116. So now that we know that this angle right here is 116 degrees, if I want to figure out what this other angle, the one right on top with the y, if I want to figure out what that one is equal to, I have to do 180 minus 116. And 180 minus 116 is 64, okay? So now we know that 9y plus 19 is equal to 64. And now we can solve for y, okay? So we subtract 19 from both sides. So that's gonna give us 9y is equal to 64 minus 19. That's 14, that's a 3, that's a 5, so that's the... No, that's 45, excuse me. So, yep, 45, all right? So that's 45, divide both sides by 9, and y is gonna be equal to 5. And now we solve for x and for y, okay? We'll go ahead and conclude part 2. Please join me next time for part 3 where we go over number 15. You all have a great day. See you back later.